there's a road that's more than just a path. It's a time machine. Route 66 took travelers from Chicago to Los Angeles, but it also transported them into the heart of America's dreams and struggles. From booming businesses to abandoned ghost towns, this highway saw it all. But how did Route 66 go from glory to obscurity? Let's uncover the incredible story of its rise, fall, and revival. And before we get started, hit that subscribe button for more fascinating stories with Whyology. To understand the rise of Route 66, we need to step back into the 1920s, a time when America was on the move. Automobiles were transforming the way people lived, but the roadways were far from ready. Most highways were scattered, disorganized, and often unpaved. Long-distance travel was a challenge that only the most determined adventurers would attempt. Enter Cyrus Avery, a visionary from Tulsa, Oklahoma, who would later be called the father of Route 66. Avery had a bold idea: to connect Chicago to Los Angeles with one continuous highway. But his plan wasn't just about linking two major cities. He wanted this road to pass through rural towns and farming communities, giving them access to larger markets and new opportunities. For Avery, Route 66 was about bringing America together. In 1926, Avery's vision became a reality. Route 66 was officially commissioned as part of the federal highway system under the Highway Act. Stretching nearly 2,500 miles, it spanned 8 states: Illinois, Missouri, Kansas, Oklahoma, Texas, New Mexico, Arizona, and California. What made Route 66 so unique was its diagonal path. Unlike other highways that followed straight lines, Route 66 zigzagged through small towns, offering businesses, farms, and travelers a direct connection to the heart of the nation. It wasn't just a road, it was a bridge between rural and urban America. Route 66 quickly became known as America's Main Street. But its story was only just beginning. What started as a transportation network would soon become a lifeline for thousands during one of the toughest times in U.S. history. By the 1930s, America found itself in the grip of the Great Depression, and the Midwest faced an even greater crisis: the Dust Bowl. Severe droughts, combined with overfarming, turned fertile land into barren wastelands. Families, desperate to survive, packed their belongings and looked westward, chasing dreams of a better life in California. For many of these migrants, Route 66 became more than a highway. It was their lifeline. Stretching from the agricultural heartland to the opportunities of the West Coast, the road offered an escape from hopelessness. This was the era that earned Route 66 its most famous nickname, the Mother Road. John Steinbeck immortalized this road in his novel, The Grapes of Wrath, capturing the stories of families who traveled west in search of work, dignity, and a future. But the reality was often harsh. Many migrants found only crowded camps, low wages, and difficult conditions when they arrived. Despite the challenges, Route 66 provided a glimmer of hope. The small towns along the way became resting points, offering food, gas, and shelter. It wasn't just a road, it was a lifeline, carrying the spirit of resilience and survival. As America moved out of the Great Depression, Route 66 would undergo yet another transformation. From a road of survival, it became a road of leisure, ushering in its golden era. By the late 1940s and 1950s, Route 66 had transformed from a road of survival to a road of adventure. Post-World War II, America was booming, and so was the culture of the open road. With prosperity on the rise, families took to their cars, exploring the vast landscapes and unique stops along Route 66. This was the golden age of Route 66. Small businesses flourished along the highway. Motels, diners, and gas stations became iconic stops for weary travelers. You couldn't drive a mile without seeing a neon sign advertising homemade pies, affordable lodging, or the best coffee on Route 66. Route 66 wasn't just about getting from point A to point B, it was an experience. Travelers would stop at roadside attractions like Cadillac Ranch, the Gemini Giant, and the iconic St. Louis Gateway Arch. Each stop added to the charm and memory of the journey. Route 66 also found its way into popular culture. From Nat King Cole's hit song, "Get Your Kicks On," Route 66 To movies and TV shows, the highway became a symbol of freedom and the American dream. It was more than just a road. It was a cultural icon, representing the promise of the open road and the adventure that awaited. But as with all great things, change was coming. And for Route 66, that change would mark the beginning of its decline. Every great story has its challenges, and for Route 66, those challenges came in the form of progress. By the 1960s, the very road that symbolized America's growth was beginning to fall behind. The rise of the interstate highway system brought faster, more direct routes, bypassing small towns and businesses along Route 66. Signed into law by President Dwight D. Eisenhower, the Federal Aid Highway Act aimed to create a modern highway system inspired by Germany's Autobahn. While this was a leap forward for national transportation, it left Route 66 and the communities that relied on it in the dust. For small towns along Route 66, the impact was devastating. Businesses that had thrived for decades suddenly found themselves without customers. Once lively gas stations, diners, and motels were abandoned, becoming relics of a bygone era. By 1985, Route 66 was officially decommissioned, removed from the U.S. highway system. It was no longer considered essential to modern travel. The Mother Road, once the symbol of connection and adventure, became a fading memory. But while Route 66 was fading from maps, it wasn't fading from hearts. For many, this wasn't just a road. It was a symbol of freedom, resilience, and the American dream. And as we'll see next, the story of Route 66 didn't end here. It was only entering a new chapter. For decades, Route 66 stood as a forgotten relic of America's past. But a road so deeply tied to the nation's identity was never going to fade away completely. In the 1990s, passionate preservationists, local communities, and nostalgic travelers began to breathe new life into the Mother Road. Grassroots organizations sprang up, dedicated to saving Route 66's landmarks and history. Many of the abandoned diners, motels, and attractions were restored to their former glory, transforming Route 66 into a cultural and tourist destination. In 1999, Route 66 was officially designated a National Scenic Byway, marking it as a protected piece of America's heritage. States began to highlight their stretches of the route, and museums dedicated to its history opened their doors. The resurgence of Route 66 wasn't just about restoring the road. It was about celebrating the culture it inspired. From classic car rallies to road trip festivals, the Mother Road became a living museum of Americana. Travelers from all over the world now come to experience its nostalgia, charm, and unique slice of history. Today, Route 66 is more alive than ever. While it's no longer a functional highway, it's a journey that connects the past and present. Whether you're cruising in a vintage car or snapping photos of its quirky roadside art, Route 66 continues to tell the story of America's dreams and adventures. Route 66 may no longer be the highway it once was, but its legacy is stronger than ever. It's a reminder of where we've been, and a celebration of the spirit that still drives us forward. The Mother Road isn't just a piece of history, it's a part of who we are. From its ambitious beginnings in the 1920s to its golden age of roadside diners and neon lights, Route 66 has been more than just a highway. It's been a witness to the struggles and triumphs of a nation, a road that carried dreams, memories, and the spirit of adventure. Even after its decline, Route 66 refused to be forgotten. Its revival proves that some stories are too powerful to let go. Today, it stands as a living monument to the resilience and creativity of those who built it, traveled it, and preserved it for future generations. What about you? Have you ever traveled Route 66 or dreamed of taking a road trip along its legendary path? Share your favorite memories or dream destinations in the comments below. We'd love to hear your stories. And if you enjoyed this journey through the rise, fall, and revival of Route 66, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to Whyology. Hit the bell icon to join us for more stories that explore the wonders of history, travel, and culture.